back to the video. In today's video, we have NXT No Mercy ranking and results. Another pay-per-view obviously wrapped up. Another very good show this weekend. So far, the past 2 weeks, we've had 3 great shows from obviously All In, then Berlin yesterday, and then now No Mercy. They delivered as well. And yeah, really good matches, really good show. How'd you enjoy it?
Yeah, I mean, it was really amazing. I went into it with, I don't want to say low expectations, but I was kind of like, oh, there's a couple good matches. But every match kind of showed out. Even, the worst match on the card ended up being pretty well. So keep in mind when we do these rankings, when we put the worst match in the last position, that doesn't mean that the match was bad necessarily. It just means that it was the worst match of the night. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, let's hop into things where we start off with the tag match where Chase U loses their belts to Nathan Frazier and Axiom. Which was a really good match. How'd you feel?
Yeah, like as you said, an amazing match. I kind of didn't expect Nathan Frazier and Axiom to win going into it because of some of the promo video I seen, like the promo packages I seen leading up to the match. Them like doing like the interview, and they were kind of arguing with each other in a way in the interview. I didn't really see that clip beforehand. I don't know when that came out or whatnot, but I think it might have came out after we made our predictions. But if I would have seen that, that probably would have swayed me to go maybe towards Chase U, but I would have been wrong because it was Nathan Frazier and Axiom. But it was a really amazing match. They just show out once again. And obviously the big talking point is going to be Chase U and what happened after the match. But in the match, I mean, Nathan Frazier and Axiom, they always put on great shows. And they're slowly becoming one of the best tag teams maybe in all of WWE, honestly.
Yeah, I tweeted it out that they are probably the best tag team this year, at least in North America. There's a lot of great tag teams, obviously, like FTR Young Bucks, and, there's so many other great tag teams. However, I think they are consistently the best, and just, constantly on TV as well. But yeah, they've put on a phenomenal show. Andre Chase put on, some work, and she started hooping as well. We've seen a big Spanish fly off the top rope from Andre Chase. But yeah, Nathan Frazier and Axiom, absolutely incredible, chemistry and speed they bring into the tag team division. And yeah, get the big win back, like you said. After the match, as Chase U's kind of, sorrowing and like their loss and kind of like regrouping with each other, Ridge Holland turns his back on them and takes out pretty much all of them. Puts Andre Chase almost through a table. But yeah, really good match. Really enjoyed it. And the aftermath is pretty cool, even though I'm not too hyped up for a Ridge Holland heel run again.
Yeah, this match, the match, like I said, was really good, but this post-match thing, I didn't really like it. I don't really understand why Ridge Holland was kind of the one to do this. If someone were to do it, I would have rather been maybe Duke, where he was kind of disappointed in him for losing, and he kind of just does what Ridge did, basically.
Yeah. Part of me at first, because he was the first person to walk in there, and I was like, oh, okay, he's gonna walk out and then run back in and then attack him. But no, it's kind of not that at all, and Ridge attacks him. But yeah, really good match. If I had to rank it, honestly, kind of seeing knowing what I know, I'd probably put it in the top 3, and I'm probably leaning more towards number 2.
Yeah, I think number 2 is gonna fit perfectly. I think we both kind of gonna agree on what number 1 is. So yeah, I think 2 is a safe pick.
Yeah, and next up we had Wesley take on Zachary Wentz, where Zach Wentz does get the W, and a TNA wrestler beats a W wrestler. I know a lot of people kind of expected the opposite to happen because of that being said. But yeah, Zach Wentz gets the win in a pretty good match.
Yeah, I thought one of the kind of cool moments that happened was Wesley goes to the outside to go get a chair after he gets him kind of leaned up against the outside post. But before he grabs the chair, he grabs his new X Division title that he just won, and he kind of looks at it and throws it on the ground before he grabs it. Finally does grab the chair, and as he's going to hit him, what's his name
Trey
again?
Miguel.
Yeah, Trey Miguel. He comes and grabs the chair from him as he's about to hit him. And that basically cost Wesley the match in a sense. But it was a really amazing match. They showed like a lot of chemistry with each other. And yeah, I'm just really happy to see them come back together. We had that big moment of them coming back together, having a match together, and now we're having this. So it's kind of, the best case scenario for them and for us.
Yeah, and one thing I really did like about this match is, unfortunately, there was a spot where Wesley was about to do the kind of like a meteor, like the double foot stomp to Zach Wentz on the announce table, but as soon as Zach Wentz got on the announce table, kind of like plopped over and just broke. So instead, they kind of did like a quick call, and Zach Wentz kind of hops up, and then Wesley goes back to the top rope anyway and does it onto the ground, which is even crazier. Kind of teabagged him as well, almost missed him completely. But yeah, really cool spot. I just love when like small things like like that where wrestlers are proactive and they're always looking to make the best move possible to make the match, go smoothly. But yeah, really good match. Really enjoyed it. Where'd you rank it though?
I think for this one, I'm leaning 4 or 3.
Yeah, let's put it 3 for now, and obviously there's a match that we think is between or better. We'll put it there anyway. But next up, we had the Women's North America Champion, where Kalani Jordan does retain, beating Wendy Chu. How'd you feel?
I thought the match was honestly really good. Going into the match, I just don't really like the Wendy Chu character. I guess I just don't really like the kind of unrealistic kind of gimmick kind of things. Like Wyatt family-ish kind of vibes with it. But yeah, I just don't really care for that. Don't really care for the character. Didn't really see much of her beforehand. She kind of just came back as from a babyface to this kind of new character, so that was also weird. Don't like the sleeping bag or pillow thing or whatever, the Tatum Paxley kind of connection either. But with all that being said, she did really good in the match, and she is a good wrestler. It has nothing to do with her like in-ring skills whatsoever. And obviously, Kalani Jordan is one of the best in-ring in NXT period. So yeah, they did really impress me, but unfortunately, I think I'm gonna have to rank this on the lower end.
Yeah, this match, like you said, very surprising. I didn't think it would be this good. But yeah, this is gonna fall for number 6 for me as well. But that doesn't mean it's bad by any means. I think it's just a solid match. Like I said, lived up and exceeded my expectations for this. But yeah, I'm glad that obviously Kalani Jordan got the win. I think that was the right choice there. We also kind of got another tease of Tatum Paxley on back after Wendy Chu, kind of extending their feud, which, isn't just another filler type of feud going on in NXT, which isn't bad. I'm glad that there is another spot given to a pretty solid story with them too. But yeah, this would fall for number 6 for me in the ranking. But to the other North American champion, we had Obafemi retain against Tony D'Angelo in a very good match. How'd you feel?
Yes, this was one that I was pretty excited for. I've never been... Tony D is another person whose character I don't really like necessarily. But he's always good in ring, kind of the same as Wendy Chu. And yeah, he really impressed. He shows his strength off a lot in here. How he's just able to lift up Obafemi with ease, or at least it looks like it's with ease. And Obafemi's a big guy, especially compared to him, and he's pretty big himself. So, yeah, but yeah, just kind of showing off his strength, doing like sidewalk slams and body slams. And yeah, just showing off his strength was kind of the story here, kind of showing that he has the strength to keep up with him, but just maybe not enough.
Yeah, this match was great. I loved it. Again, similar to that Zach Wentz and Wesley match, Tony D did roll his ankle during the match, and again, that kind of was something that they had to change up on the spot, where Obafemi had to kind of take charge of this match and got a lot of his offense in, but by the time D'Angelo got his ankle back into place and was kind of good with it, he started getting back some offense and continue to have a great match. But yeah, obviously love that Obafemi gets the win here. He kind of spotted out the wrench that would be probably used against him from Stacks, takes that out of his pocket and is like, nope, get that out of here. But yeah, very good win from Obafemi, and again proves that he is one of the best and one of the next future stars in not only NXT but WWE in general. But where would you want to rank this at?
I think originally before we started the video, when I was kind of thinking about it, I think I had this one at 3, but now that we've kind of talked about it a little bit more, I'm leaning more towards 4.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Personally, I would put the Zach Wentz and Wesley match a little bit above it, but again, like I've been saying, it's not that it's worse or it's really bad. It's just that it's just a little bit worse than what the Zach Wentz and Wesley won. But yeah, next up we had the women's NXT champion match where Roxanne Perez does retain her belt, and another very good match. One that, my expectations weren't the highest for this one because I know Jada Parker's still fresh. This is kind of her first big showing on a PLE. But yeah, she came out, did really well, played a really good story with her injured ribs. But yeah, how'd you like it?
Yeah, I mean, as most of you probably know by this point, Roxanne is one of my favorites in all of WWE. I think she's just one of the best, period. Not even in NXT, but just in WWE, period. And yeah, she showed that off this match again. There were times where the match kind of slowed down a little bit. I don't know what was kind of the cause of it, or maybe someone tweaked something during the match or something. I don't know, but it was kind of fast paced at first, and they were kind of doing really well. And then it slowed down a little bit, but it was still a really good match. Roxanne, she needs to change that finishing move though, because she does the pop rocks at one point to Jada Park after she does her hypnotic attack to Roxanne on the outside and goes through the kind of ringside wall. Yeah, she kind of goes through it, and then she does a pop rocks onto the barricade, and she almost immediately got up. But she does get her with it a second time. That does put her down, where she does retain.
Yeah. This match, like I said, I really enjoyed it. Obviously, let's kind of get into the big meat of this entire segment, and none other than Julia finally shows her face again, but this time pretty much confronting Roxanne after the match, getting her face and kind of saying that, hey, I'm here now, and I'm ready to take that belt off of you. Obviously, that's a big thing because, Julia is one of the best women's wrestlers in all of women's wrestling right now. So to see her match up with Roxanne, who I think is making a name to be one of the best right now, it's going to be really cool to see. But this match, really good, really enjoyed it. Probably my number one.
Yeah, definitely gonna be my number one. As I said, Roxanne's one of my favorites. She showed why she deserves to get to that main roster next time we have a draft come around, or whatever type of call up happens. She definitely needs to be one of the first ones out of the NXT door, and I believe that is gonna happen once she eventually does drop this title to whoever that may be.
Yeah. But let's get on to the main event where we had Ethan Page and Joe Hendry fight it out with Trick Williams as the guest referee. But Ethan Page does come out on top. How'd you feel about this one?
Yeah, I mean, it was a good match. The one kind of complaint I guess I have about it is the Roxanne match kind of took the breath away from everybody, or at least, myself. I don't know how it felt in the arena and whatnot, but at least for myself, after the big Julia appearance and the amazing match that they had, I was kind of, I guess a little drained out of energy from, all that, because I was very excited to see Julia. I was very excited to see Roxanne retain. So I guess I was kind of just a little bit down on energy maybe at that point, and then the Joe Henry match kind of felt a little bit underwhelming. So I think I would have definitely had the Roxanne match close the show, to have kind of Julia kind of close the show per se. But with that being said, the match was really good. There were some amazing spots. We had the Pete Dunne kind of interference towards the end of the match. We had Trick Williams kind of keeping his word, where he said he was going to call it down the middle, and at the end of the day, he did exactly that. He called it down the middle. He counts the 1, 2, 3 for Ethan Page. Although there was one moment where he gets knocked out of the ring by Joe Hendry. Then when he finally comes back in the ring, he sees the ref counting, about to let to let Ethan Page win, and then he kind of grabs the ref's arms and stops him from making the third count. So at that point, I kind of thought, okay, maybe Joe Henry's gonna win, because right after that he gets like a roll-up pin. But yeah.
Yeah, this match, again, so I kind of said this about the Kalani and the Roxanne match, but again, expectations weren't that high, if I'm being completely honest. Like I think I've said in the predictions video that this card on paper is going to probably get carried by these mid-card matches, and I was right, but also the main card and the main events did also deliver as well. This was never going to be, a Will Ospreay 7-star classic. We all know that. However, they did their thing, and they had a very solid match. Really enjoyed it. Like you said, I did kind of like the spot where Trick Williams runs in and stops the ref. Kind of gives you like is Joe Hendry actually going to win this? But in the end, Ethan Page does hit the ego's edge and gets the win. Really enjoyed it though. Really, really solid and surprising as well.
Yeah, and as I kind of mentioned earlier, Pete Dunne comes in and attacks him at the very end of the show. Basically did what he said he was going to do at the end of the last NXT, and I try to make him not make it to the next NXT, because this Tuesday they do have a match. It's basically like a number 1 contenders match as far as I know. So yeah, I guess we'll see more from that this Tuesday. But for this Ethan Page and Joe Hendry match, we have 1 spot left, and that's number 5. And I think I'm cool with keeping that there and keeping the list as it is. So at number 1, we have Roxanne Perez and Jada Parker. What, in my opinion, should have been the main event of the night. Then we have the start of the night with the tag team match, Fraxium and Chase U, Wesley and Zachary Wentz at number 3, Oba Femi and Tony D at 4, Ethan Page and Joe Henry at 5, and then finally Jada Parker and Wendy Chu at 6.
Yeah. But yeah, really good show altogether. And another thing to add on to that main event as well, the crowd was very alive for the Joe Hendry chants, and they were just pretty much eating all of it up, just constantly, cheering for him. It kind of felt like, I'm not gonna, not to that extent, but kind of felt like John Cena-esque pops, where anything he was doing, they were popping for him. So another good thing for Joe Hendry. Kind of upset he didn't get the win, but makes sense in storylines, and just. I don't think TNA or WWE would let, like I said, the TNA wrestler get the champion.
Yeah, the WWE ego had to take over at some point. They couldn't let two TNA wrestlers win on the same night.
But yeah, that will do it for NXT No Mercy. Again, a very good show. Really enjoyed it. But yeah, next up on the pay-per-view cycle, we have AEW All Out, which is this Saturday. So really good card building up right now. But yeah, that will be it from us. Thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far, let us know your reactions to the matches and how you felt on it. But yeah, we will catch you guys in the next video.